So, XCOM 2 is probably one of the games that I've streamed the most in one way or another. I did a few XCOM Chimera Squad streams. I did a bunch of streams when XCOM 2 was new. And now it has come to the Switch. And so I feel almost like a moral obligation to keep coming back to this game. It's given me so much entertainment over the years that I almost just feel this obligation to just throw money at for access whenever I get the chance. So, of course, I bought it on the Switch, and it kind of filled up all of my storage on the Switch. I haven't even started the game up yet, so we'll be kind of discovering the Switch version of it together. I'll grab War of the Chosen. It looks like they've actually got the original XCOM 2 and War of the Chosen available on the build, which is nice. So I'm not going to play a ton of it, but I just really wanted to sort of look at the way it looks on the Switch, see the way it controls, see, you know, how they've set the game up for me. So yeah, we'll get a little introduction to it and see where it takes us. Okay, so it looks like you can mess with the character pool, which is interesting. So I'm not going to spend the time to make a new character, but if I wanted to, I could generate somebody. Is it? Oh, there we are. Yes, I've got all of the character controls that you usually have. That's pretty cool. All right. Well, I'm not going to. I guess I'm just gonna leave this random character there in the character pool. Probably end up playing her at some point. But what we really should do is start a new game. See what my options are there. So, Not Jamarta says, speaking of games that take up all your storage, I need to re-download The Witcher 3 and Black Flag and just enjoy the game properly. So I've tried to get into The Witcher a couple of times, and I've always failed. I think something about the combat system is just not on the same wavelength as me, and I have trouble enjoying it the same way that, like, tons of my friends like it. So I can definitely tell why people like it and why the game is good, but for some reason it's just not on my wavelength. I'm really hoping that Cyberpunk, which is, you know, by the same developers, and which has is at least, people are imagining it'll have a lot of the same advantages as The Witcher in terms of just its storytelling and everything. I'm hoping that because they're completely switching, like, physical genres, that I'll be able to get into that one in a way that I couldn't get into The Witcher. Okay, I usually play on veteran level. Ooh, and I can decide whether to have a tutorial. I don't need one. I like subtitles, though. And yeah, let's reduce beginner VO. What advanced options do they give me? So greatly increase the hit point of most units for longer tactical engagements. So just everyone gets more health across the board, and you have to play for longer. Oh, I can decide to start at the HQ of different sub-factions. That's interesting. Oh, this makes the... so you just accumulate bad things as the game goes on instead of just having them be temporary? That's horrifying. Double link the Avatar project. So, okay, so that's just... I think that slows the bad guys down? Double the length of mission timers. Ooh. Let's turn that one on. I mean, the pressure's fun and all, but I've actually been wondering what it would be like to be able to play with some of that pressure removed. And grenade damage fall off. No, thank you. Okay, so we've got our advanced options, and we're ready to go. No Iron Man, thank you. Oh, Lost and Abandoned. And other downloadable content. Let's not do the other content, because I think some of it involves really, really, really obnoxiously scary enemies that I just kind of don't want to deal with. So we'll just go with this.
Accessing the feed now. We're in. But I don't know for how long. You seeing this? Way too much security, even for Advent.
That's no ordinary gene therapy clinic. They were telling the truth.
Or they're leading us into a trap. A really obvious trap. We'd need an army to march in there right now.
I've got a better idea. Outrider, this is Central. Go.
So, that guy's appearance changed so much between XCOM 1 and XCOM 2. Like, he somehow got some, like, really powerful cool injection between the two games. So Not Jamarta says that he's pre-ordered Cyberpunk 2077 on both consoles because he has that much trust in CD Projekt Red. Wow, so it's like you're just going to have two parallel games going on different machines. Did we just pass right through that man's crotch? Whose idea of a transition was that?
The timeline you placed upon us, mistakes are bound to happen.
It wasn't our fault. Please.
There's no need for any of this. I will do what you ask of me. I just need additional time. Did you say something? You're one of those. You must understand. I had no choice.
Outrider, report.
Yay, we're the good guys.
So, you do exist. Outrider
Hey,
to
that's me.
Avenger, I have visual confirmation.
Are you sure?
Reapers are always sure.
I'll take your word for it. Cover your tracks and get the hell out of there. They can't know we were here. Yet.
Understood. Now the real war begins.
So I love how a lot of games will really put the extra effort into making sure you understand who the good guys and the bad guys are, because it's really easy just to say, these are the bad guys, these are the good guys, and just make you accept it. But just like, you know, in this game, they had that Reaper knock out the scientist instead of killing the scientist to show you, hey, we've got a line we don't cross. We're the good guys. Similarly, I've been noticing that in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, whenever you're coming up on a new group of enemies that you might have doubts about whether or not you should murder them all, they always have them do something heinous right in front of you. Shooting a civilian, planning to shoot civilians. That like it's just always like a lot of murder. You always witness them murdering somebody so that you understand, even if you had doubts before, these are definitely people that you need to murder. And so, I mean, but I appreciate that. I mean, it's a heavy-handed tactic, but for me, like trying to play Lara Croft and feel like a hero, I kind of have to see that the people that I'm killing are bad people who are a threat, who are an immediate threat to people that I need to protect. Like, if they're an immediate threat, then I can kill them and not feel like a serial killer. And not a lot of games do that. You know, there's some games who, you know, will just say, hey, these people are obstacles. They're in your way. You have to fight them. And you know, and similarly, there are games where they, you know, show how badass the good guys are by showing them murdering people, and you're just like, do I feel good about being these folks? I'm not dead certain. Not Jamarta says, I'm grateful for any excuse for my murder spree. So, yeah, there you go.
Approaching position. You were right. They've definitely got their hands full today.
Stay focused. Prep gate crasher.
60 seconds.
Uh-oh. Because I skipped the tutorial, at least I'm pretty sure I clicked the box to skip the tutorial, I expected not to do this mission. I'm kind of surprised that I'm actually having it.
Now.
Signal received. Loud and clear. Okay, Gatecrasher. Your turn.
It's very dark. Oh no, it's very dark because I haven't used the controller in a while. So the power save dimming went on. I'm interested in the fact that that actually came through the Elgato. I would have expected that screen dimming effect would be something that happened at the screen level, and that the video signal coming out would do that. But I guess if it needs to warn me that it's about to go into power save mode or something, that makes sense.
It's time the aliens and the rest of the Advent administration learn that we can hit them where it hurts. So we're moving into the city center to strike a high-profile target. Deploy and approach the designated position. Neutralize any hostile contacts and secure the site.
Okay, so now we get to see what the load times are like. I'm used to playing this game with an SSD on my PC here. Not too bad, actually, for a Switch. One thing I really kind of laughed at when I was watching the PS5 event today was that it was pretty clear that somebody had... Oh, is that my character that I just created in the character pool? Probably is.
We have a fix on the target. Move to place the X4 charges at the designated position.
Anyway, I got the impression that somebody had told someone at Insomniac, here's your job. Make a game that could only exist on a console with instantaneous load times. And so they made a version of Ratchet & Clank that's all about jumping from massive level to massive level seamlessly, with maybe a couple of seconds passing between them. And so they did. And so that was, I don't know, I find that really, really amusing, because I was watching a trailer for a game, and usually you're supposed to be, looking at, the gameplay, the story, the world, and figuring that out. But all I could think about was somebody was assigned to come up with a game that could only exist on a PS5. And that's what they came up with. And actually, they came up with something really good. I'm used to... I have lots of memories of having those kinds of constraints and needing to work within them. And I was pretty impressed. Okay, so anyway, how do I play this game? I don't know. So my destination is way the crap up here. We'll be blowing that thing up. So we gotta move our characters step by step. Okay, let me make sure I'm using the right buttons for everything.
These guys make up the bulk of the Advent forces we've dealt with. They're disciplined and well-equipped, but their obedience makes them predictable.
Alright, I'm trying to figure out... Okay, that's how I rotate. I played a ton of the original XCOM on console, and but I've mostly been playing this XCOM on PC. And so I'm really used to the mouse and keyboard controls, and have not gotten used to playing it with a controller. Okay, so because we're at the beginning of the match, and we're in stealth mode, I can basically go anywhere I need to, as long as I avoid those red tiles. But I really like doing stealth in a turn-based game. Invisible Ink is one of my favorites. And so I'm really sort of, I'm glad that XCOM 2 did this. I'm actually, I also really appreciate the fact that there's some, once you've established a genre, the way that the original for XCOM did, and then other people come in to augment it. A lot of times they'll go in there and they'll really emphasize one aspect of it, like that game Corruption. They did a really good job of making those sort of like stealth setups where you sort of arrange all your characters and then you fire off the combat. They really focus on making that experience work. Whereas in XCOM 2, that's just the very first phase of combat, and then you quickly get into just an all-out fight as soon as you break cover. But they set it up so that you're doing that repeatedly again and again. And similarly, Chimera Squad is... You don't actually do the sneaking and the setting up. You just assign doors to all your characters and you burst in on a room and just get right into the action. Which is, again, it's very similar to the kind of stealth setup work that I'm doing right now. It's just framed a little bit differently. So it's interesting seeing them, sort of take an experience that's sort of hinted at in XCOM 2 and then making an entire game all about it.
Moving out.
I'm pretty sure these characters all have pretty similar loadouts.
Orders confirmed. On the move.
So I'm going to try to get them all
On my way.
within range of these enemies.
Orders confirmed. On the move.
And then I'll put everybody into Overwatch,
Affirmative. Covering now.
except for one character.
Affirmative. Covering now.
This is sort of how you do the sort of reach and clear tactics. Then that one character will fire on an enemy. Kill the enemy.
Target Target neutralized. We're visible here.
And then everybody else is just ready to fire on anyone else who charges at us. But no one charged? What? Well, that is disappointing.
Move into designated position.
Did we just get away with that for free? I'm assuming somebody's going to come charging out pretty soon. So I'm going to take just one move with each of my characters. So that we can overwatch and be ready for whatever comes down that balcony. I mean, down that staircase from the balcony.
Orders confirmed. On the move.
Okay, she's ready to charge up that ladder if she decides it's a good idea, though right now I'm not comfortable that it is. Okay, I'm going to let this guy not be able to fire. Or this... I can't tell who that is. This person not fire.
Overwatch. On Overwatch.
Just to get them paired up so they're close to each other to support each other. Okay. Oh, so not Jim Artist. Like other people who have visited my stream in the past today, is pretty excited about Horizon 2. It's not called Zero Dawn now. It's called, what is it? Forbidden something? Forbidden West? Is that what it is?
The Advent officers seem more capable
Yeah,
than the
that does
grunts.
look really good.
We're not sure whether to chalk it up to training or stricter mind control.
Okay, now this character's in trouble. Alright. Okay, let's see what we can do to help this character out before we just run them away. Okay, so I'm going to run this character up here.
Moving out!
He's exposed, but I'm going to use his exposed position to take out this soldier.
Got him!
Ragdoll is one of my favorite things that anyone ever invented for video games. Okay, so this character can't get much of anywhere.
Okay.
So I'll just move her over here, and then have her overwatch. Oh, she could have tossed a grenade. Ah, I wasn't thinking. Okay, so this character's really, really exposed. Let's see if our friend can come up here and at least take some of the pressure off.
Headed there now.
I'm really used to being able to just melee people out of commission with Chimera Squad. I really hope the Chimera Squad eventually comes to the Switch. I think I would really enjoy that. Because Chimera Squad is actually more of a Switch-appropriate game because the engagements are all short. You know, it's like with XCOM, you get into these very long fights, especially if you choose some of the options that showed up in the advanced difficulty options.
Moving out.
And on the Switch, I usually want to play games that have much shorter engagements. Things like Into the Breach, for instance, was perfect on my Switch. That was the platform where I 100%ed it. Actually, was on the Switch. It was just so appropriate. Okay, good. So because I got the character behind cover, they're much safer. Much more so than if I'd left them out. Yep, and they missed their friend too. So, all right. So now what? Okay, so I can get close over
Move into
here.
designated coordinates.
How are we at hitting this guy behind cover, though? Looks like 62%. I could switch to a grenade. We'll be fine. Yeah, we're fine.
Enemy down.
Alright. And then... Okay, this character can't get up there and stay in cover. We'll save them for last to see what I feel safe doing. Okay, so I could advance...
Orders confirmed.
Oh crap! Didn't realize that I was under fire. So I'm pretty sure I remember. Was it? Which game was it I played recently? They did a really good job of warning me when I was going to be the victim of Overwatch attack. It might have been Chimera Squad, or maybe no. It's Gears Tactics. Gears Tactics does a really good job of warning you when you're about to come under fire during a move. So I think I maybe got used to relying on that inappropriately so.
Nailed
gonna take that guy out. That character's really vulnerable though, which makes me nervous. So, okay, so I could come over here and chuck a grenade at that guy. Or what happens if I just complete the objective? Do I still have to deal with the enemy? Let's find out. I've forgotten what. It's been so long since I played this beginning. I just don't even know. Okay, so let's plant the X4.
Menace 1-5. X4 module is armed. Neutralize any remaining hostile contacts.
Okay, well let's... So do I select this one first? Okay, yes, I select it first, then I throw it out there. Then how do I fire it? There we go. Okay, so not enough to damage them, but maybe... I mean, not enough to kill them, but maybe I've done enough damage that... I don't know, what is my goal? I don't know. Okay, so if I get this character close enough to be useful, they can't actually fire this turn. But...
I'm all over it.
Yeah, so I'm nervous I'm going to lose a character right now to this guy because I wasn't clever about Overwatch. Okay, good. He's running for cover back there. Oh, but... No! Ah, dang it. Well, that's what happens. That's what happens when you don't pay enough attention. Alright, well, let's, in a fit of rage, just charge this dude.
Get a closer look. Nailed him.
Area is secure.
Revenge
We're not
is
picking up
mine.
any inbound contacts. Scanners are clear. Status confirmed. Squad is clear. Detonating charges.
See you later, Jim Artis. Oh, and Wearing Orb and Arakaria have joined me. Oh, and it occurs to me, I'm sitting here playing this game, and I have not actually changed my Twitch information to show what game I'm playing. So let's fix that. Change it to XCOM 2. All right. So now let's see what my base looks like on the Switch. So far, this is playing really well. Like I'm not really. I think here and there I saw a couple of performance hitches, but not in places that were important. And the controls feel really intuitive. It has switched it up to follow the Nintendo standard, where you press the right side face button to select things, and the bottom face button for canceling.
All we have built to return us to the chaos of the old world. Only together can we oppose them. United in the Elders' love for us, we shall prevail, no matter the cost.
I'm not sure who that was. Talking over me. Rude guy. Okay, there we go. Minor performance hitch, but we're fine. Okay, I can promote these characters. That's good.
The Grenadiers provide heavy ordnance
Grenadier.
whenever and wherever we need it.
Alright, so we've got basic Grenadier abilities. Who's this going to be?
Each of our soldiers has a unique relationship with their squad mates. As they complete combat missions together, their compatibility will grow and can eventually develop into a lasting bond.
Alright, so we've got a specialist. What else do we have?
Just like
A sniper.
our sharpshooter.
Or sharpshooter, excuse me. And we've lost this character. Very, very sad. We picked up an advanced stock, some corpses. Dragging home corpses, that's always good. Alright, so here we've got my base. And research lab, huh? Okay, let's pick up some research. I'm just gonna skip the cutscenes. We're used to the cutscenes. We know what's in those. This game's old. Modular weapons, hybrid materials, or alien biotech. Let's go hybrid materials.
I do find that area of research to be among the more intriguing options available. We'll
Okay,
begin
now
working-
engineering wants us to check it out. Let's see here. Build items.
You'd be surprised how big of a difference some of these things can make in combat, Commander.
All right.
With a few
Get ourselves a med
supplies,
kit.
I can manufacture anything we need in no time.
How many supplies do we have? We got like 140 supplies. Yeah, let's grab a smoke grenade too, and then spend the rest of our cash upgrading the base. What can I build here?
So why the sudden change of heart?
Like most people, I wanted to believe that
Power
the
relay or
aliens
guerrilla
were
tactics
legitimately
school?
interested in
How much
peace.
power? Oh, we've got plenty of
Although
power.
they
Let's
left
build a
me
guerrilla
no choice
tactics
when it
school.
came to working with
And
them.
then
I
clear some
admit,
debris.
I was drawn to the
Okay, we
central
don't have enough
office of
engineers
the
for that, so we'll just leave it where it is.
You should have known better. The aliens would never have come here if they wanted.
And we'll check out the bridge. Skip the cutscene. Thank you so much, XCOM, for Axis, for letting me skip these cutscenes.
We're attempting contact with a local resistance faction known as the Reapers. These people like to...
Yeah, I was really worried, actually, that I was going to have to sit through every single cutscene. I did sit through the initial cutscenes, because they're some of the best ones, but I kind of wanted to skip a lot of these, and I'm glad that they recognize that most people playing this game on Switch, or at least a sizable chunk of us, are people who've played XCOM before and are just excited to have it on a new platform, which means we don't want to go through all the tutorial stuff again. We don't want to have to sit through all the story stuff again. Alright, so...
Avenger plotting new course.
Yeah, so early on, they just sort of channel you down a series of missions, and then eventually open it out to give you a lot of choices.
Commander, the Avengers' remote scanning capabilities will help us search the area for clues or other resources.
It's almost
It'll
relaxing
take
to
some
be able to
time,
just
We've got a lot
make
of
progress on
ground
these
to cover.
things without worrying about
I
dark
could
events
predict this
happening or
outcome,
anything like that.
Though it is intriguing.
Okay, so we've got nanoscale vests and... Ooh, don't have alien alloys. So yeah, let's do modular weapons next. And I'm pretty sure I probably can't afford to make a nanotech vest.
On my neck. I
Nanos...
wasn't forced to remove the chip myself.
Oh, I can build one.
Incisions might have
Let's
been
do it.
New orders, Commander?
Alright. Anyway, let's continue on the world map. Huh. I'm going to catch up with the chat here for a second. Wearing Orb asks, can you still change a character's name to Sid Meier and activate a cheat? I have no idea. I've never actually done that. I really tend to prefer to play games without cheats, and so I don't usually experiment with stuff like that. Yeah, so Wearing Orb is pointing out that they had cheats where if you changed the names of the characters to developers of the game, you would get a whole bunch of advantages. But and Wearing Orb says that it would turn off achievements, however, if you cheated that way. And Arakaria says, well worth it. So, yep. It's definitely, it's up to each individual whether that's how you want to play. I mean, my kids play The Sims almost exclusively with Motherload, whereas I liked earning the money slowly over time and slowly upgrading a house rather than just, bam, making the exact house I wanted from the beginning.
Avenger plotting new course.
I forgot how slowly they ramp you up into the game, just sort of like step by step showing you how things work before really having you do a lot of combat and a lot of like difficult decision making.
Interesting discoveries, Commander.
You get assigned in research. Kind of only one other. Oh no, two other options. Oh, so I could spend an entire month on magnetic weapons or alien biotech. Which one am I going to choose?
Priority, Commander. I'll notify you as soon as the report is available.
Wearing Up says, I definitely prefer to play without cheats, but occasionally like to check them out. Because some can be fun as hell. That's true. That's a pretty good attitude. Okay, so this is... I can rescue an engineer. I wanted another engineer. And the difficulty is easy, which sounds great. Let's go for it. Alright, so... 2 grenades sounds good for my grenadier. Let's see here. My lowest level character. 2 grenades. 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 2 is the one I want to put the nanoscale vest on. They're likely more likely to survive. My specialist is the one who's going to get the med kit. And I don't know. Let's put my defensive grenade on the sniper who's hanging back. And let's go. So Arcaria says, I like to modify everyone. Play with a lot of custom characters. But I don't really like them dying because I've spent all this time with them, so I'll play the mission again and again because my kids are dying. Yeah, for me that's even more true because I actually, my original playthrough of XCOM 2, and actually I think even my second playthrough, I named a bunch of characters after my family and actually like sort of customized them to look like my family. And so, yeah, there's no way I was going to let those characters die. It just would feel too weird. So even though in theory I like the idea of playing games where characters die permanently, in fact, I make a game where characters die permanently, when I'm actually playing XCOM, usually the cost of trying to move forward past a major failure is too high for me. Like, I could maybe tolerate losing one character, but if I lose much more than one character at a time, the disadvantage is so huge and the effect on your ability to just complete the game is so dramatic that I end up feeling like, well, I'm kind of wasting my time on the game if I'm taking on that kind of risk. So I usually reload and I'll try to play, like, I'll accept a certain amount of bad consequences, but when it gets bad enough, I usually just reload and try again. And it's more a statement about the amount of time I have in my life to devote to a game, how willing I am to just do a ton of replaying to play past consequences. A ton of like long-term replaying, like going back to the beginning because my team got just so completely worked over that there's no way to win the game now. Like, not wanting to do that level of replaying. I'm willing to replay the same mission again and again to avoid the massive scale replay and what that means about the time I'm spending on the game. Wearing Orb says that it means the game's doing a good job if it's really making you invest in your characters and not want to lose your people. Occasionally, my motivation is that there's a particular character that I just am too committed to that I don't want to lose. Sometimes it's just the sheer cost I can imagine of trying to win the game in the wake of a certain amount of losses that's my motivating factor. All right, so I think we'll play through this mission, and then probably take a break.
5, we're tracking the Advent General and his escorts, but we don't have an exact fix on their location. Sweep the area and eliminate the target along with any other hostiles that stand in your way.
So, do I have an indication of what direction the target is for me? I don't think I do.
Orders confirmed. On the move. Enemy squad located.
Well, there's somebody anyway. I've noticed that the lighting
on target location
on the Switch version of the game is very different from PC. You'll see that there's a lot of really, really flat lighting here. It almost makes the environment look unlit. I imagine that probably has two motivations. One of them is probably performance, right? I mean, doing a complicated lighting scheme can be very expensive on any machine, and so if you're working with a machine that has less resources, it makes a lot of sense to simplify the lighting. But another factor might have been the fact that the Switch is
on Overwatch.
The Switch has a screen that can sometimes be, you might worry about the screen being too dim or somebody dimming the screen on purpose in order to conserve battery life, something like that. And when you've got a really dim screen, doing a bunch of really dark, moody lighting can make the game a game unplayable. So I imagine they might have also gone for this brighter, flatter lighting scheme, not just because it's probably simpler for performance, but also because you don't want to risk people not being able to see the game. All right, so I'm going to move a little closer to these guys.
Time to motor.
And I don't know if they're going to come out again or what.
Moving.
Or if maybe I should have moved inside that room. Is this room they just went into the same room that I'm... I can't really tell.
Position confirmed. Got it covered.
Alright.
On Overwatch.
Well, let's see what happens.
Affirmative. Covering now.
Okay, good. They are coming back out. They can see me? They've gotten real close. Alright, so I could use a grenade to damage one of them and take the other one out, but I think I'll conserve them because there's probably a bigger fight later on down the line. So I think I'll probably... Yeah, I'm going to set everybody else on Overwatch.
Scanning.
And then let my sniper take the shot at... Oh, the one character that he can hit. Great. Oh, nice. Critical hit takes the guy all the way out. Well, this is going to go well for me. He's like, oh no, 3 people on Overwatch. Let me just run. And there we go. Didn't even need all 3.
We're picking up an inbound Advent transport. The aliens are going to try and extract the general from the AO. Don't let them get on board that ship.
So Wearing Orb says that they got City Skylines for the PS4 after watching my video on it the other day, and now they can't stop playing it. So that's great. So I remember really liking City Skylines when I played it on the PC. I'm trying to remember. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? Was that me like back on the old streaming setup at work playing City Skylines? That I have. Was Brian Giammi along with me for that ride? You'll have to remind me about the video. It was super, super long time ago. It's been a while since I played the game. I've been thinking of reinstalling it and giving it another try. I know the game has grown a lot since the last time I played it. Okay, yeah, Wearing Orb says that I am remembering that correctly. Awesome Twitch Dude is asking if this is going to be a 12-hour stream. No, obviously I'm not going to be playing this until noon tomorrow. You're crazy. Alright, so... Okay, so it's told me what direction the enemy is in. So I guess I'll try to move my characters up real fast. Let's see what happens if I just charge wildly into the darkness.
Although they bear some resemblance to the sectoids first encountered during
Okay,
the
so they're
invasion,
introducing
their
the
genetic
sectoids.
structure now includes human DNA. They are stronger than ever, with an even greater
Okay, so I
psionic
don't think they had line of sight on me, but I think that doesn't matter. I think they're really just all about proximity. You know, whether or not it fires off these encounters. So, okay, I'm going to move my sniper. Actually, I'm not moving my sniper yet. Let's move some characters into position to overwatch on these enemies as they charge at me. I don't think this position is going to give me a lot of opportunities, but we'll try it anyway. And now, I've got a better spot to move my sniper to, though I guess they'll only be able to overwatch with their pistol right now. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I do get an opportunity to shoot, but I miss. I love it when they blame their sights.
Adjusting aim.
Alright, well that didn't do much. At least they missed too.
That all you got?
Right, that's it. Well, let's move up here.
That's affirmative.
Presuming that I'm going to be able to hit this character, right? Okay, so now actually I can see the second character. Where is my Grenadier? Wait, is this character my... Wait, I can't remember who my Grenadier... Oh, was it the Grenadier that I actually... Yes, of course I got the Grenadier right up close. That's not what I intended to do. But... I wonder... I can damage them both this way. Let's go for it. Oh wait, did I just... hit the wrong button. Alright. So let's... damage them both. By firing a gun at... firing a grenade at point blank range. Oh, but that opened up part of the wall. I wonder if that's going to give me more opportunities to hit that enemy. Like, can I come over here? Oh, so is there a way for me to get a preview? No. Oh, I don't want to do that. No! I'm not trying to call the Sky Ranger. Dang it. Okay, apparently that's what clicking the right stick does. Not what I intended at all. Well, let me avoid fleeing by accident. And shoot this sectoid. Not quite enough damage. Well, that's what I get for for playing a game whose controls I'm unfamiliar with. Let's see if I can hit from this position. I'm not sure I can easily. Okay, yes, good, good. This does count as flanking them. Luckily, I'm pretty sure I don't have to flee, just because I called the Sky Ranger by accident.
Affirmative.
And yeah, it's wanting to make me have this character flee, but we're not going to do that. We're going to end the turn without fleeing.
We're close.
So Wearing Orb is asking me what time it is where I am. So it's almost 2 in the morning.
Identity confirmed. That's the general. Take them out before they can escape. We won't get another shot at this. I've got eyes on an Advent position.
So yeah, it's 2 in the morning. So I imagine a lot of the folks who watch me are on the East Coast where it's even later. And I don't know how you're managing to stay awake this late, if that's where you're from. Okay, so what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to neutralize all enemy targets and kill the field commander. Okay. Well, let's try to make that happen.
Okay.
So I don't have a great angle on the field commander from here. But I wonder how much damage I can do with a grenade to their cover specifically. Oh, I can potentially do a lot of damage to them and damage to their cover. It's interesting how you can see sort of the way that the character's behavior is parsed out. So it figures out what the arc is first, what arc of grenade I'm going to need to fire in order to hit the guy. Then it tells the character to get their weapon out, but it gets their assault rifle out, aiming up the way you would aim a grenade launcher, because that's the angle that is told the character to aim. Then they switch the grenade launcher to be aiming in that position. So a real person would not aim their assault rifle in the same direction that they would aim their grenade launcher. That's insane. But because of the order of operations, that's what the character ended up doing, which I think is amusing. Okay, so let's see here. So in that position, I'm sort of undercover. It's actually pretty interesting to look at the way the cover mechanics in XCOM work. Basically, the idea is when you're behind cover, you count as being behind cover and not flanked, as long as all the enemies are at least just somewhere on the grid, at least one step ahead of your cover. So, like, basically, if there was a character in any of these spots, they would be flanking me. But as long as they're one step ahead, if they're just on this rank, like, you know, the enemy is 2 steps ahead on this rank, even if the angle they have on me is really, my cover barely matters at all in the real world, they still count. I still count as being behind cover from them, and that's nice because it's just a really simple calculation for me to make, so I can easily understand why I'm in cover in some places and not in others. And the cover is treated as absolute, you know, no matter what. You know, even if I'm barely undercover or a lot undercover, difference doesn't matter. I think that the XCOM 1 had a rule change you could kick in where you could get almost flanking and still get an advantage, even if you weren't completely flanking. But I think XCOM 2 doesn't have that option. Anyway. Point is, I'm shooting at this person with my pistol because this is my sniper, and I probably could have afforded to put a different character in that advantageous position, but it looks like I can make it here and still get the advantage. Well, 64%. We'll see how that goes. Alright. I grazed them. Okay, they got 1 hit point left. let's see if we can get him from here. So when I clicked and I made that Sky Ranger zone appear, what I was really trying to do was preview which enemies I could hit if I moved to a given spot. That's why I was clicking the right stick, because it just seemed like a button that might do that. One thing I've really noticed, like recent XCOM spiritual successors, other games in the XCOM genre, they put a lot of effort into making sure that they do give you a preview of who your character can shoot and who they can be shot by when they move to specific spots. And XCOM itself, I think they give you the ability to, like, I think if you hold down the Alt key on the PC, it gives you that ability, but it doesn't do it natively without you putting some effort into it. So like I run here, I'm not exactly sure in advance if I'm going to be able to hit anybody, and it looks like I can't. And I also don't... See here, I also don't have a lot of options. Oh, what? Ow. I wasn't expecting that at all. Well, at least I can shoot some... Oh, okay, cool. I can shoot the guy. So yeah, I didn't know if moving into this position would make it possible for me to hit him, and apparently it didn't. So, cool. Okay, so I can hit somebody from here. Who can I hit? Oh, the same character. Cool. Let's give that a try. Yes. Okay, I got the general. So I think I've got to clear everybody else out, too. Don't I?
-1-5, kill confirmed. That's how it's done. We need to clear the area of any remaining hostiles. We can't allow them to recover the general's body.
Okay, that's what I thought. So, okay, I'm going to reload first.
Back online.
Oh, and in that case, okay, it's really interesting seeing what rules they'll carry over from one control scheme to the next. So, typically, you know, A and B, so like the A button being the bottom face button on the Xbox, that's your selector, and the B button being the right face button, that's your cancel button. And they're flipped on the Nintendo Switch, and those functions follow the button when the button gets flipped. So XCOM is maintaining that. You know, you're still selecting things with A and canceling things with B, even though the A and the B buttons have moved relative to the Xbox. But the right face button, it's X on the Xbox and it's Y on the Switch. But no matter what, sorry, the left face button. That left face button is still used to reload on both, even though it's Y on the Switch and X on the Xbox. So it's interesting that the functions follow the buttons when you flip A and B, but they stay in their same locations when you flip X and Y. And I think it's just following different standards. It's like, you know, that A and B switch is really religiously adhered to by lots of different games on the Nintendo Switch. But I'm pretty sure that X to reload, that standard is also the left face button to reload is also pretty consistent across different games between Switch and other consoles. So yeah, it's just interesting that they're sort of different standards. You'd think that you would just follow the same rules across the board, but you don't. Each individual control has different standards that you adhere to. Anyway, so I think I'm going to Overwatch with this character, and we know there's at least one enemy around. Let's move this character into a safer spot.
Moving.
Okay, oh man, we got
Advent troops here.
another whole unit over there. Let's hope they want to charge at me and end up exposed. There we go. Okay, good. Yeah, did some damage. Okay, it looks like Sengatsu showed up. Thanks for joining us. Said they were almost missed the stream because of work, but they finished it, and so now they're here. Good. So we're just going to be playing just this last game of this last match in XCOM before moving on to something else. Okay, I'm betting that I'm the only character here that's going to be able to hit this Advent troop. So let's hope that I missed. You know what? I should have used a grenade. Wait, do I have a grenade left? I'm not sure what I have left. All right, let's flip a coin, see if we hit the sectoid. Yes, we did, but not enough. Okay, so this character is out of options unless I reload. So we'll reload first. And then I've got a chance at the sectoid. Not a great chance, but let's see how it goes. I like this rebel character shows up just in his shorts and his unbuttoned shirt. He's like, whatever. I don't care about safety. I guess we're going to have to get a little bit closer, which will open up other options later. And oh, okay, I've got an angle on this guy. Let's take him down. Yes.
Hostile neutralized.
Hey, Console Freak just showed up and says, oh, XCOM, what a game that was. Oh no. Don't flank me. What are you doing? Okay, good. I resisted mind control, but I'm still unhappy. Please don't shoot my friends. Yes, shoot the enemy. That's a good thing to do. But shoot them more accurately than that, please. Okay, well, my character's in the best position to do some damage. He's also panicking. That's not great. But I think my sniper could just run up here. They only have to do 1 damage, so I think I can put them in mortal peril, but still have them take this guy out. Got him.
We have confirmation.
And mission complete. Alright, so it feels like XCOM performs pretty well. It doesn't look as pretty. They've, intentionally sort of simplified the lighting scheme, probably for performance, but also probably for visibility on the Switch screen, which can, there's a lot of context in which it can be hard to see. Nothing to do with the quality of the screen. It's just, playing on a bus with light streaming in through the windows. It's just hard to see anything. And it looks like they've made... It looks like they've made a lot of good decisions about adapting the control scheme, even though I was having trouble sort of figuring out where certain functions are. All the decisions that they made so far seem to make sense, so I appreciate that. And now we're headed back to base. So I guess we'll wrap things up with the characters, and then wrap up this part of the stream and move on to something else. It's funny, I'm like, I've got my mouse out and I'm looking at OBS and I keep wanting to interact with the game with my mouse just because I'm so used to mouse and keyboard. Okay, so let's definitely go with medical protocol for my first specialist. That can be really valuable. And then my noob, yep, is going to be a recon unit. So that's the character that I lost in the very first combat was probably aimed at being recon. So they make sure that I get one of each class at first before they start varying it up, which I appreciate. Alright, yeah, so they've got the slash ability, and we're going to continue. Got an Illyrium core, got an advanced repeater, all good stuff. And then we've got a cutscene, but we don't need to watch the cutscene. We know what's going on. And we got an engineer. Ooh, we've got a soldier bond. Let's do it. No, we don't need to make a poster. We're fine. Oh, we got low supplies. Oh, no. We got new staff. That's great. Let's have our staff clear some alien debris. Clearing debris is tight. Well, it actually looks like... Okay, I thought when it said engineer required, that meant that I didn't have one. But it looks like it requires one, and I do have one. So, yeah, let's do that. All right, so we're using up all our engineers. We'll get all this stuff done eventually. And I think I'm ready to quit. So we will go to our end screen. We'll pop up a subscribe button, and maybe some people will press it. I don't know. Usually people don't make it to the end of my videos. Usually my average watch time is something like, I don't know, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever. You get what you want out of the video, and you can move on.